Y'all, if you're struggling with rumination about all of these things that the narcissist blamed on you in that relationship, or struggling with ruminating about all these up beliefs that you now have about yourself because this person told you these things, this video is for you. So let's start off with a reminder that anytime a narcissist accuses you of doing something or accuses you of being something, not only is it usually a projection, but also they're known to purposely leave out all of the necessary information that's needed in order to completely understand the context of a situation, right? They rewrite stories in a way that leaves out everything that they did wrong so that they can create a new context where everything is your fault. And they gaslight so much and so often that not only do these stories in the context that they created become their truth and their reality, but they also become your truth and your reality. And so we lose touch with reality, right? Because we've been living in their distorted reality based off these narratives that they've created. And so even when we look back and we try to recall information or remember situations and events, we remember it in the way that they told it, which again leaves out the information needed to understand the full context. So then you continue to have all these distorted thoughts and beliefs pop up that continue to make you believe that there's something wrong with you and that you're the problem. So if you're struggling with rumination about this type of thing, I want to make sure you're at least ruminating in the right context. So let's say, for example, within your rumination, you have this thought that keeps popping up like, maybe they were right. I didn't trust them. Maybe I was too insecure. If I wouldn't have been like that, maybe we could have worked things out. So let's pause there because we're leaving out a whole bunch of necessary information to understand the full context of that. You didn't just show up in that relationship accusing them of shit and not trusting them and feeling insecure. What did they do and what did they show a pattern of that led you to not trust them, that led you to feel insecure and unsafe in that relationship? That's the context you need to add into that thought process. If someone is repeatedly fucking you over and not taking accountability and not changing their behavior and doing the same thing over and over and over, maybe you had a right to not trust them. And maybe there was a reason you felt insecure. Let's say you keep having this thought pop up that's like, maybe I was way too emotional and way too sensitive in that relationship like they said I was. And then you start thinking about all the times that you seemed to be very emotionally dysregulated. You were crying a lot. Maybe sometimes you were even acting out of character. You screamed at them, stuff like that. Don't stop there with the thought. Again, let's add the rest of the story and the rest of the information in there that allows us to see the full context. Did you walk into that relationship like that? Or did they continuously make you feel unseen, unheard, dismiss your feelings, minimize situations to the point that you became emotionally dysregulated because of the way that they were treating you? It's almost like their behavior led to you feeling that way and reacting that way. Let's say you have this thought pop up like, you know what, maybe I was too cold towards them. There were times when I was short with them. I wasn't showing as much affection. Maybe if I would have given more, then we wouldn't have had these issues. Don't stop there. Again, let's add the rest of the information to that story that they purposely left out to make it seem like your fault. What happened leading up to the point where you started being short or withdrawn or not feeling like you wanted to show this person any affection? Were you being lied to and deceived and betrayed and repeatedly invalidated and made to feel like you were worthless and invisible when they continuously gave you the silent treatment and punished you for trying to talk about your feelings? I wonder if that's the reason why you became a little bit distant. Say you have a thought pop up that's like, you know what, maybe I was nagging them. I mean, I was always bringing these negative things up. Maybe I was just a negative person. Maybe I am a negative person. They're right. Hold on, don't stop there. Were you just bringing up this for fun? Were you just bringing this up for the fun of it? Or were you bringing this up because it's something that they refused to address, refused to take accountability for, refused to change, and that's why you had to keep bringing the same thing up over and over again? It's almost like you weren't nagging and you were just wanting them to take accountability for their actions. You see what I mean? All these stories that you have on repeat that make you the problem and that make you believe that there's something wrong with you and that make you believe that you caused the downfall of this relationship and you caused their behavior, leave out all the important information that will help you see that these things were not your fault. So figure out what information is missing from these stories that are on repeat in your head during your rumination and start adding that in so you can see the right context and understand that these things aren't your fault. And I also want to add in that when we're ruminating after a narcissistic relationship, or ruminating really in general, it's our brain replaying things over and over and over again, trying to make sense of it, trying to look for new parts to make it make sense. So the fact that you are even ruminating about these things that are allegedly your fault shows you that some part of you knows that that doesn't make sense. That's why your brain keeps replaying it over and over and over, trying to make that make sense, because it doesn't. So go make a list of all the things that you keep ruminating about that involve things that you believe are your fault or horrible things that this person caused you to believe about yourself, and add in the information that's missing. Reground yourself in reality, because when you start adding in the rest of the story from your experience with this person, it's going to allow you to start accepting that these things were not your fault, and these things that this person tried to tell you about yourself are not true. And when you can accept that, the rumination is going to decrease on its own.